Да, здравейте. Здравейте отново на всички, които се присъединяват и за тази интересна презентация. ЮЛМ безспорно е един от най-привлекателните университети в Италия. Днес имаме честта и удоволствието да видим Алберто Занети, който ще ни разкаже малко повече за възможностите за обучение в този прекрасен Милански университет. И накрая отново ще имате възможност да зададете своите въпроси. Отново бих препоръчал да задавате въпросите си в чат секцията, като по време на презентацията моите колеги ще се опитат да отговорят на повечето от въпросите. Разбира се, накрая Алберто ще отговори на тези от тях, които не са отговорени все още. Well, Alberto, I guess you can present yourself and start the presentation.
Thank you very, very much for this introduction. It is my pleasure to be here today with all of you, with your staff, and with the prospective students invited. As you said, I am Alberto Zannetti, and I am International Mobility and Recruitment Officer at IULM University, or Universita IULM in Italian, if you prefer, in Milan, Italy. I am here today, and I'm very happy of being here today for showing you a presentation of our university and for answering all the potential questions that you may have after the presentation. So it will be my pleasure to share my screen now and to take you through a virtual tour of our university, let's say. Sharing the screen right now. You should start seeing the screen in a minute. All right, we are in full screen mode, so I guess we can start with the presentation. As you can see from the first slide, we are speaking about a university which is focused in communication studies, tourism, creative industries, and a number of other subjects that I'm gonna show you in a second. Let's give a brief introduction about the institution so you can have a better idea of how our university is positioned in the Italian higher education system. I guess, first of all, you should know something about the foundation of this university. Our university was founded in 1968. So it is a university with a very good tradition, despite not having a medieval heritage like other public universities in Italy. But don't be misled, don't be fooled by the year of foundation alone, because yes, it is true that we were founded in 1968, but during the past 50 years, we have been able to establish ourselves as the reference point, the benchmark, the center of excellence for communication studies. As a matter of fact, nowadays we are regarded as the #1 communication school in the country. We also teach foreign languages, tourism and hospitality, new media, television, cinema, and the promotion of cultural heritage. We are a private university, and you will see during this slideshow, we have a very, very strong relation with the job market. Actually, one of the most important features we are very well known for in Italy is our placement opportunities for the graduate students. You will see that in a minute. A few numbers before we continue, so you can complete the picture and have a better idea about this university. We're not very big. Let's be honest, we are considered a medium-sized university, which is an advantage because as you can see on screen, we have nearly 7,000 students with 300 teaching staff members. So the student to teacher ratio is very, very beneficial. 23 students out of one teacher, which means that the classes are usually run as small groups. You're able to interact with your peers and to be followed by the teachers properly. Speaking about the international population, if we take into consideration the courses held in English language, 25% of the student is international. And by the way, our university has a very good tradition in enrolling Bulgarian students. Every year we have around 10 freshmen coming from Bulgaria. So if you choose our university, you will find someone speaking your language. And maybe if you need help, able to give you some tips and tricks during the first part of your stay. The campus is composed of 7 buildings on a 65,000 square meters area, one of the largest compounds in Milan. We have one dedicated subway station on the Green Line of the metro. Just a few words about the rankings. We were ranked amongst the top 300 universities in the world in 2021, according to Times Higher Education Impact Rankings. And as for the Italian rankings are concerned, we are stable in #1 position for services offered to students in the private mid-size bracket. And again, #1 for career progression in the Master of Science in Communication, which is our best flavor, I think. We are based in Milan, as I've told you before. So another advantage of choosing our university is the chance to experience a multicultural city, the financial capital of Italy, which, by the way, is also the capital of fashion, if you're into fashion. Rome is the political capital, but when it comes to multiculturality, international relations, finance, events, fashion, as I said, fine living, Milan is the place to be. So all the features that you can see on screen can be at the tip of your hand. And our city is located in Lombardy, a region in the north of Italy, which is always a good choice for a study abroad experience, if you ask me, for 3 reasons maybe. First of all, because Lombardy is one of the wealthiest regions in the European Union according to the GDP per capita. So it is always a good place to stay as well. Because you will find job opportunities for graduates after the university. And also another advantage is that our region is always very welcoming with international students. Perhaps it's the most welcoming region for international students. The information that you see on screen, of course, is referred to non-EU students. So it is not affecting your situation because you are part of the European Union. But in general, generally speaking, Lombardy is one of the most welcoming regions in Italy, and also one of the regions with the largest number of available beds, available accommodation for international students, which is always a good thing. We have spoken about international dimension before. To be a bit more specific, I will say that our university is part of the Erasmus program network. So if you choose us as your next destination for your study, you will also be able to benefit from the Erasmus program opportunity. We have a network of 150 plus partner universities worldwide, and we are able to offer internship programs also abroad. And if you want to go abroad in order to do your thesis research to conclude your final dissertation, you can do that. Another milestone we are very well known for is the career opportunities. Just have a look at the numbers. We have a network of nearly 1,400 partner companies, both in Italy and all around the globe. Inside the university, we have a mentoring service for startuppers, for those graduates who want to just start immediately with their own business. We are able to organize events with professionals and companies, events where the graduates can sponsor themselves in front of the most important companies and have the chance to be hired by those companies. And our placement office is really one of the most efficient and well-prepared in Italy. Last but not least, we offer counseling to international students in English all around the academic year. We have a peer tutoring service with senior students able to help the freshmen during the first part of their studies. Recently, we implemented a buddy system, so it is possible to get in touch with already enrolled students and ask them a few practical information about the campus life or the study plan or the way subjects are taught, for example, and a wide range of services for disabled students. There's more. If you are into statistics, I just give you this slide so you can have a few more numbers. We have been talking about employment. According to the recent statistics carried out in 2021, and this data is referred to 2020, so it's quite recent, 78% of the graduates with the Master of Science from Universita IULM is able to find a job within 1 year from graduation. And pay attention, because this statistics is extremely good, because the national average is 68%. So 10 points against the national average. As you can see, we have 9s out of 10s across the board, if you want to use like a school terminology. More than 90% of the students interviewed during this survey said that he or she was satisfied with the Universita IULM experience, including the quality and efficiency of the teaching staff, the workload, the study plan, the facilities, the services and the infrastructures offered to students, and the overall experience. So our students, especially our graduate students, are really satisfied with the Universita IULM experience overall. But probably one of the key features of this university is the campus. I just need to stop a minute on the campus, because I think it's really a unique case in Milan and perhaps a unique case in Italy as well. We like to define our campus as an American style campus. So even though you are in Italy, the students have the feeling to be inside an American facility. Why is that? Because all the buildings of the university are grouped, are included in the same area. That really make the difference. That can really play a major role when you do your classes, because a lot of Italian universities have ancient buildings dating back to the Middle Ages. Of course, there are beautiful buildings, but sometimes, honestly, a lot of times, you have to jump on public transportation and to move from one place of the city to the next in order to attend your classes. Sometimes you are late. And so it's difficult. On the contrary, our university has all the classes in the same area. So you come in the morning with the subway. We are, by the way, just 10 minutes away from Duomo and the city center and the shopping district, the museum. And you leave in the afternoon after your activities, and you never have the necessity to leave the campus for whichever reason. We have 3 on-campus cafeterias where you can have lunch or breakfast, 1 public park, a fitness center for students and teachers, which was recently opened in 2021, a lot of services, including a bank inside the campus, and believe me, every room, every place is within walking distance. I'm going to show you. This is building number 1. This is the place where our offices are located and where the majority of your classes will be held. This is a sneak peek of the public park. One of the 3 cafeterias. This is the place where I usually have lunch when I am at the campus. This picture was taken before COVID, but it is really significant in my opinion because it gives you a proper idea of how classes are run, especially at graduate level. We are talking about cooperative classes. So the students interact together, they do field work, they do research work, and they exchange ideas. So it's not just a frontal class with a teacher speaking for 2 hours and the students taking notes and staying silent. It is more like a group work. Now let's jump into the second part of the presentation. Let's be a bit more technical and let's speak about the academics. We know our subjects are communication, tourism, media, cinema, arts management. And so our undergraduate academic offer, our bachelor's degrees, mirror this kind of focus that our university have. We have a bachelor degree, which is entirely taught in English, that is corporate communication and public relations. I will expand a little bit more about this program in the next slide. Then, as you can see, we have 7 programs held in Italian, in case you have proficiency in Italian language, and they are very well positioned in the 3 faculties that we have. In the Faculty of Languages and Interpreting, we have Interpreting and Communication, and Languages, Culture, and Digital Communication. Moving on to the Faculty of Communication, we have Corporate Communication and Public Relations, which is the original version of CCPR. We have Communication, Media, and Advertising, Tourism Management and Culture, Arts, Media, and Cultural Events, Fashion and Creative Industries. Pay attention to the last 2 programs that I have mentioned. Our university is not an academy of fine arts. It is not an institute of fine arts. So whenever you read arts or fashion or creative industries, please bear in mind that we tackle those subjects according to a managerial, communicative perspective. So if you come to our university, you don't learn how to design dresses, how to design clothes. You learn how to sell them and how to communicate properly. Corporate communication and public relations is probably one of the most popular programs that we have in our university. And it is also one of the most requested among Bulgarian students, by the way. We have 50% of the teaching staff coming from the world of work. And most importantly, this program was the first course to be ever established in Italy in English in the field of public relations. So we're speaking about a benchmark. We are speaking about the first of its kind. 65% of the students are able to find a job within 1 year from graduation, which is a very, very good statistic at undergraduate level. The threshold for admission, as you can see, but throughout the 3 years, you can get up to public speaking skills. So at the end of the program, you will be able to effectively communicate in English with external peers, and you will also learn how to deal with consumer psychology and how to do marketing research during your work. Moving to the graduate academic offer, we have 2 programs entirely held in English: strategic communication and hospitality and tourism management. I will expand a little bit in the next 2 slides about those 2 programs. Then 5 programs held in Italian, which are somehow the natural second part, the natural continuation of the programs that we have at undergraduate level. So as you can see, we have a master's degree in specialized translation and conference interpreting, if you want to become an interpreter. We have an MA in television, cinema, and new media, another master in marketing, consumption, and communication, artificial intelligence for business and society, which was launched 2 years ago, and it is already a bestseller, and art, valorization, and market. But the highlight of today's presentation is, of course, the academic offer in English language. I'm going to tell you a few things more about strategic communication because I think it's worth mentioning. This program is extremely famous among international students, first of all, because it is a double degree opportunity. So if you enroll for this program, you can get a chance to have an equivalent degree from one of our partners abroad. We have 2 partners in the UK and 1 partner in Australia. Another key feature, which is probably a bit more difficult to explain, but I'll try to tell you about it because I think it's interesting to know if you are thinking about applying for this program. This degree was created according to an unusual procedure because it was created according to a bottom-up concept. In Italy, when you start a new master's degree, what you have is usually the faculty deciding which are the most important subjects of the study plan and which are the mandatory subjects, and on the contrary, which are the optional subjects. But it's the faculty which decides. In the case of strategic communication, a survey was carried out by the partner companies of Universita IULM in order to determine which were the most requested profiles on the job market in the field of communication. The results of this survey were translated into the study plan for strategic communication. So somehow it is fair to say that this degree program is driven by the needs of the job market and not by the desires, so to say, allow me to say that, the desires of the faculty. Another very popular program is hospitality and tourism management, a 2-year Master of Science, which in turn is again a double degree option with the possibility to spend the second year of your studies at UCF in Orlando, United States, and get an equivalent title. Another key feature is the possibility to have a custom study plan. So the study plan for this program is, as a matter of fact, it is fully customizable with a lot of interesting subjects like theme park management or e-tourism technology, just to mention a few. You have a semester abroad option in case you don't want to do the double degree, and you can spend a semester in the UK or in Barcelona, for example, or even outside the European Union. 60% of the faculty coming from the academia, and 40% is people coming from the world of work. In particular, in this case, we are speaking about hotel managers and CEOs, CFOs of important hotel chains like Marriott or Accor hotels. All of them are partners of our university. Lastly, our university is very well known, not only in Italy, but throughout Europe for its one-year masters. The one-year masters are divided into university masters in case you have ECTS credits, or executive specialist masters in case they don't have ECTS, but on the contrary, they give you a professional title, which can be used in your career progression. We have 6 programs entirely taught in English, as you can see on screen, and more than 15 programs held in Italian. The main difference between the 2-year master's degrees and the 1-year master programs is, of course, the duration. And in some cases, there may be major differences in the admission criteria. Because these programs that you can see on screen are more job-oriented, they are more practice-oriented. So in many cases, the admission criteria, especially for the executive master programs, are more specifically linked to working experience rather than academic experience. Let's move to the final part of the presentation, is the admission requirements and the tuition fees. I'll be very brief because our admission requirements are quite simple, I would say. And most importantly, you can always refer to the host of today's presentation, Skylines, in case you have further doubts about how to be admitted to our university. But just to give you a broad idea, if you're interested in applying to a bachelor's degree, you need to have a high school diploma with at least 12 years of schooling, which is your case, and a B2 language proficiency in English or in Italian, depending on the program that you choose. On the contrary, if you want to apply for a 2-year master's degree, you need to have a bachelor in a field which is related to your chosen program, to your future program. So, for example, if you're interested in strategic communication, you should come from a humanities background, not from a medicine or engineering background. B2 language proficiency in English or in Italian is requested. In some selected cases, C1 is requested. Academic year timeline starts usually at the end of September. The long end programs, like, for example, the bachelor's and the master's degrees, the 2-year master's degrees, have only one intake. So there is only one application period, which ends at the end of May. The 1-year master programs and the executive master programs may have 2 intakes, one in February, one in September, depending on each program. And now the tuition fees for degree-seeking students. For our bachelor's degrees, the tuition fee is 8,556 euros per year, divided into 3 installments, regardless of the nationality. So it is a flat rate for international students. For the 2-year master's degrees, the flat rate is 9,956 euros per year, again, divided into 3 installments. The tuition fees for the 1-year master programs may vary a lot according to the programs that you choose. So in case you're applying to one of them, you can refer to Skylines in order to retrieve more practical and specific information. The good news is that our university is able to offer a number of financial support opportunities for outstanding, for good students. In particular, we offer 100% tuition fee reduction on the first year tuition fee based on merit requirements for a selected number of programs. You can see the full list on screen. Then for the entire academic year, taking into consideration the long end programs, so the bachelor's and the master's, we have a 50% tuition fee reduction, again, based on merit. What's the difference between the 100% reduction and the 50% reduction? It's the grade, the requested grade. If you want to apply for the 100% reduction, you need to be in the top level of your final grade in the previous education. So we are talking about like 95% of your final grade. If you are the 50% reduction, you need to have at least 70% of your final grade or above. Of course, these are limited, so the sooner you apply, the better it is. And by the way, applications are open. So if you're interested in applying to our university, you are clear to do so as soon as you have all the papers ready. The good news about this tuition fee reduction is that it can be combined with the DSU Regional Scholarship, which is another good opportunity offered by the local government of Lombardy, with grants up to 4,500 euros. These grants are given to students according to their family financial situation and merit criteria combined. It's a bit more difficult to apply for the DSU Regional Scholarship, but it is a good opportunity to take into account as a second chance of funding your studies abroad. 50% reduction and the 100% reduction can be extended also to the second and the third year if you're doing a bachelor's degree, if you have good grades in your first year at Universita IULM. Lastly, a few words about accommodation. On a normal situation, so in pre-COVID situation, we had quite a good number of available beds in our 2 on-campus residences. Unfortunately, due to COVID regulations, which hopefully are going to end very, very soon, all of us are hoping for that, we are offering single rooms with a shared kitchen. The availability is very, very limited. A lot of the places available have already been assigned. So my advice, if you're interested in this opportunity, would be to inquire immediately, because unfortunately we have a very limited number of places available in the on-campus accommodation solutions. But never mind, because in case we have run out of available places, don't worry, we got you covered, because we have alternative solutions available and we can help you find accommodation together with one of our partner housing services in Milan, as you can see on screen. Okay, I guess this was the end of my presentation. I thank you very, very much for your attention. Here on screen, you can see the direct contact of the university, but I'll tell you again once more, if you have questions regarding the admission criteria, the eligibility, and all the bureaucracy, you can always refer to Skylines, our host for today, because they are our official representative in the area, and they have a very, very good tradition of helping us with prospective students from your country. So you are definitely in good hands. I am now stopping my screen share because I guess it's time for a bit of a Q&A. So we have quite a lot of time to listen to your questions and to answer them live, thanks to the help of the beautiful staff that we have today. helping us with this live conversation.
Thank you, Alberto. I don't see any questions yet. Ah, there's one already. And it's in English, you can see it maybe.
Yes, I'm
about
opening the chat box.
Can you tell us more about the scholarship for master's degree? This is the first question I see in the chat box.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. And Nicole, in case you're interested in applying for a master's degree, two options that we offer are the 100% tuition fee reduction, which is basically a tuition fee waiver. We can say that because 100% is equal to a waiver, practically speaking. That 100% reduction is reserved to a specific number of programs. For example, it is reserved to the 2-year master's degree in hospitality and tourism management, in case you're interested. If you're interested in another master degree, you can apply for the 50% tuition fee reduction, which is a good opportunity as well. On the contrary, if you are referring to the 1-year master programs, which are something different, as I told you during my presentation, please pay attention because there are no real scholarships for the 1-year master programs. The 1-year master programs may have study prizes and success prizes, or let's say graduation prizes. And these prizes are granted to successful candidates, but after the graduation, not before. So if you are taking into consideration the application for a 1-year master program, you should budget your finance for your study abroad period more carefully, because the funding opportunities usually come after graduation, not before. And then we have another question. Yeah, please go ahead.
It's Diana. I think she's asking about the bachelor degree in English language. If the exam they need to take is the TOEIC exam.
It's not the TOEIC. That's a very interesting question, by the way. Thank you for asking.
It's because Diana was in the previous presentation of Kafovskari. And we discussed the TOEIC. Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, very, very good point. Thank you, Evelina. It's a very good point because I'm glad that you mentioned the TOEIC, because the TOEIC is a very, very important exam in the Italian education system. But it is usually reserved for state universities like Ca' Foscari, for example. Which is a state university, a public university. And usually it is requested for engineering and economics and other technical materials. For example, scientific subjects like science or biology. On the contrary, in our university, if you want to apply for a bachelor, the test that we require, the admission test that we require, is a test which is created and administered by the university itself. So it's not the TOEIC. It's a IULM test. It's an admission test run by us and administered by us. You're welcome, Diana.
We're waiting for more questions.
Sure. In case you have also questions related to the campus life or opportunities for international students. One thing that I haven't mentioned in the presentation, and maybe that's bad, I should amend the presentation as soon as possible. One thing that I haven't mentioned is that international students have the chance to apply for a part-time job inside the university during their studies. I'll just give you an example. We have a student from the United States studying the bachelor's degree in corporate communication and public relations. She's in her third year of studies, and she's working with us today, during these days, in the International Mobility Office, and she's helping us with the international events. So I think it's a great opportunity. You get paid for that. And it's, you know, it's not big money, but you can still pay for your rent with that money. So it's another extra opportunity for international students.
This is definitely important. And Diana is asking for more information regarding the test for admission to the bachelor degree program in English.
If we are referring to the test for corporate communication and public relations, it's an online test, which is great news, which means that you don't need to come to Milan to do the test, but you can take the test from your house with a computer. It's a 50-minute test divided into 4 parts. One part is logical reasoning, and you know, you are asked to solve like logical problems, like puzzles, and the things that you are normally asked to solve when you apply for humanities programs at university. So reasoning, logical reasoning, critical thinking. Then there is another part referred to the subjects that you are going to study. So communication in general, just to assess your level of knowledge in that particular field. Then there is a part related to general knowledge of the things that are happening in the world. And then I think there is one final part which is referred to problem solving, I think, if I'm not mistaken. The test is administered remotely, as I have already told you. And in case it is not passed in first place, can be retaken for a second time.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Honestly, I have to say that I don't have the exact statistics at hand, but usually our international students, especially students coming from Bulgaria, are able to pass the test at the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So they never repeat the test.
Nice. Oh, yeah, another question about the admission test, but this time for the master's program, strategic communication.
Yeah, well, there's a slight difference. Well, it's not a slight difference, it's a huge difference, to be honest, between the admission procedure of the bachelor's degree and the admission procedure of the 2-year master's degree, like, for example, strategic communication. Because the admission to the master's degree is carried out in 2 parts, 2 phases. The first part is a written test, which can be administered from distance again. So you receive a list of questions and you have a certain amount of time to reply to those questions with your computer, and you send them back to the university. And then after the written part, there's an interview, a one-to-one interview, which can be done on Skype or Zoom or any other medium, together with the course coordinator. So it's, you know, it's a bit more. If you want to be admitted to a master's degree, you also have to pass an oral interview. The questions of the interview are usually related to the answers that you have given during the written part. So it's a sort of comment on the written part of the text. And then you are usually asked questions concerning your education background at bachelor level, your personal preparation, your motivation, your objective, your goals for the master's degree. And then there is a part concerning your skills. So what you know and what you don't know about the field of study that you are going to go through during the master's degree. Of course, it's a bit more difficult, it's a bit more selective, but it's quite straightforward because it's a master's degree. So it's normal.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll just wait for a couple more minutes for more questions. And
yep. Very, very good questions. Very, very focused.
Indeed, yeah.
And also I was having a look at the number of participants. We have 40 people connected. So a lot of participants for the session.
Yes. Good to think. Certificate in English for master's degree.
Yep. Broadly speaking, we accept quite a wide range of English language certificates. We accept IELTS. For the master's degree in particular, it has to be at least B2 level. In some selected cases, for example, the master's degree in interpreting and translation, it has to be a C1 level instead. We also accept the TOEFL. We accept the Cambridge assessment, let's say traditional certificate, for example, the certificate of advanced English or the certificate of professional English, the CPE, the traditional certificate. And that's it for the moment. Unfortunately, we don't accept Duolingo or Babbel, or neither we accept the Pearson language certificate, unfortunately. So we just take into consideration the Cambridge assessment, the TOEFL, and that's that.
Okay.
Alberto, how about the IULM English test? Can we also use it for the master's program apart from the bachelor's?
Good point. Thank you for asking. Let's say that in case you're not able to provide a certificate of English in a timely manner, for example, because your test center is not open, or because you didn't manage to take the test on time, you can be also assessed internally through a test that we provide, which is based on the Oxford English Language Assessment Test for the bachelor's degree. And for the master's degree, it is an oral interview with a mother tongue professor, with a native speaker.
And in that case, would, for example, a student is admitted with this assessment, the IULM assessment, either oral or with the test for bachelor, within completing the program and graduating, do they need to actually pass a certificate of English, or they can complete the program only through this assessment? I'm asking.
They can enroll.
They can enroll, and they can graduate without being required to provide a certificate.
Yes.
By the end of the study.
Yes, they can. They can. Because, you know, once you have passed all the steps for the selection, you are not required to provide any other proof of English language during the duration of your course. So once you're in, you're not requested to provide extra proof. If you're taking the internal assessment test provided by IULM, it's okay, it's fine. maybe some of the students in the audience are worried about the Italian language, because maybe they are wondering if it's necessary to know a bit of Italian before coming to Italy. I would say don't worry, especially if you are choosing a program held in English, like corporate communication or strategic communication or hospitality and tourism management. You don't need to be proficient in Italian when you start your studies. However, you will see that you will be proficient in Italian when you finish your studies. And that is quite normal because you will learn Italian while staying in Italy. We have two more questions.
Yes.
One coming from Boriana. Do you accept the IB diploma? Yes, we like the IB diploma very much. So if you have an IB, you can go ahead and apply for the university, and we will take that into consideration and assess the IB.
Can I just add that it has to be a full IB diploma with the 6 subjects, 3 in higher and 3 in standard level, not just separate certificates, IB certificates.
Good point. Thank you, Evelina. Good point. You are right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I understood that there is a possibility in Italy to study in English. Do the students learn Italian during the study? Yes, as I've told you a minute ago. You will have courses of Italian language, but most importantly, you will pick up Italian spontaneously. The first thing that you will learn will be the gesture, probably, because the Italian gesture is very famous. And then in like 6 or 7 months, you will be able to speak Italian with your Italian classmates. I guarantee.
And Alexandra is asking about the scholarships. If we take a gap year and then apply for university, can we apply for the same scholarships?
Well, if we are referring to the tuition fee reduction, so the 100% and the 50% tuition fee reduction, which are offered by IULM University, yes, you can. On the contrary, if we are now referring to the DSU regional scholarship offered by the Lombardy region, that could be tricky. Because usually you don't need, I mean, you're not supposed to interrupt your studies if you want to apply for the regional scholarship. So be careful. If you are speaking about the tuition fee reduction offered by IULM, yes, you can. You can apply for the tuition fee reduction even if you have a gap year. But pay attention with the DSU scholarship because it may be a problem.
But very good questions, actually.
Yes, indeed, very good.
Yeah, if there are no more questions, maybe.
Alberto, obviously your presentation was so good and clear, and it answered most of the questions that the students have. Thank you very much. I would like to say to the rest of the participants that the next presentation is starting in 5 minutes. It's John Cabot University. So everybody who's are interested in John Cabot can jump into the next presentation in 5 minutes. And Alberto, I'm looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks here in Bulgaria. And by the way, to all the students that are still here, if you're willing to meet Alberto in person and ask your questions directly to him, he will be in our office in 2 weeks, but we will inform you with an email about this opportunity.
Yeah, sure. It would be great. If you want to meet in person, I will be there in 2 weeks, exactly 2 weeks. And I can't wait because that will be my first time in Bulgaria. So can't wait.
Yeah, very nice. Well, thank you once again for your time and for the great presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Have a great afternoon.
You too. Thank you very much, Alberto. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Alberto, shall we finish? Shall we end the session? Because with no more questions.
Thank you very much for the assistance and see you soon.
See you soon, Alberto. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.